All right, guys, so the factor theorem. All right, now we're going to be using synthetic division the same way we did the other day to find zeros, but this time we're actually going to go one step back. Okay, so we're going to do one last step than we did on Friday. So find all the factors of, and then we have the polynomial. Notice how they don't give us anything else. They just give us the polynomial and that's it. Now remember, whenever the leading coefficient is 1, then we just use the factors of the constant to find our zeros, our possible zeros, right? But remember, the zeros come from factors. So we're going to go ahead and use 18 to find the possible rational zeros just to get us started with the synthetic division. Okay, so remember, factors of 18 are 1 times 18, 2 times 9, and 3 times 6. That's it. And remember, all these can either be positive or negative. So we have 6 positive and 6 negative, so that's a total of 12 possibilities. But remember, this 3 tells us that we will only have 3 solutions. Okay, so from these 12, only 3 actually work. Okay, so let's go ahead and set this up. So we have x to the third, x squared, x to the first, x to the 0, and then we're going to write the coefficients. So that's 1, negative 4, negative 15, and then positive 18. Okay, and I always like to start with positive 1 until we get a 0 as a remainder. Okay, so we have here 1, and then let's multiply. 1 times 1 is 1, so we write the 1 here. Negative 4 and 1 makes negative 3. 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. Negative 15 and negative 3 makes negative 18 when I add. And then 1 times negative 18 is negative 18, and looks like we have a winner. Okay? Now, so this means that 1 is a 0. Okay? Hang on to that for a minute. Okay, we're going to come back to that in a moment. Because see, remember, we have to find all the factors. Not the zeros, but the factors. And so let's go ahead and write this as a polynomial. So this here will be x squared minus 3x minus 18. Okay, and so let's go ahead and factor this. It should factor. So we have x times x for x squared. And then remember, we need a negative 3 and a negative 18. So here we need a negative 18. So that'll be 6 times 3. But I need a negative 3, so I'll make the 6 negative. Okay, so this will be x minus 6 and x plus 3. Now stop right there. We're actually 2/3 of the way done with our factors. Notice it says find all the factors. Well, these are factors, things that multiply with one another. Okay, so here we have x minus 6 is one of the factors. X plus 3 is the other factor. But remember, we should have 3 factors because we have a third degree polynomial. So where's the other factor? Well, the other factor comes from this here. Now remember, our roots would come from here. So this is 6, this is negative 3, and then this is 1 right here. So what should I put inside the parentheses? Which factor should I write here, which would give me a 1 as a root? Right? Well, notice, this is negative 6. My root is positive 6. Positive 3, my root is negative 3. So this should be x minus 1. Okay, so actually this is the answer we're looking for, the factors. These are the factors, and these are the roots or zeros or solutions. Okay, so these have 3 different names you can call them by, but this only has one name, the factors. Okay, that's all we're doing today. We're finding the factors. Okay, so let's do couple more examples. Oh wow, 84, that's a big number. So let's start by listing all the factors of 84. So of course, 1 times 84, 2 times 42, right? And we may not be able to find all of them, so we're going to see here. 84 divided by 3, that's 28, so 3 times 28. By the way, let's do 84 divided by 2, just so you can see. It's 42, okay? Now what about 4? 4 times, let's do 84 divided by 4, is 21. 5 won't go in. 6, let's try 6. 84 divided by 6 is 14. 6 times 14. Okay, and let's try 7. 84 divided by 7, that's 12. And I think we got all of them, guys. Okay, so that's all of them, because 8, I don't think will work. 84 divided by 8 does not work. We get a decimal. So we have all these factors here. Now remember, we have a positive or negative. So we have a long list to check. And remember, only 3 of those will work. Okay? Again, we're only looking for the factors. So let's go ahead and start this off. I hope we get one on the first try. So let's start this. X to the third, X to the second, X to the first, X to the 0. Okay? So that's going to be 1, 14, 61, and 84. And I'm going to start with positive 1. I always like starting with positive 1 and then working my way down. So bring down the 1. That's going to be 1. 14 plus 1 is 15. 15 times 1 is 15. Add this up. 61 and 15, that makes 76. And this is not going to work. Okay? 1 times 76 is 76. That won't give me a 0. So that didn't work. Okay? So we try again. 1, 14, 61, 84. I'll try negative 1 this time. Again, we just keep trying until we hit 1. So 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. 14 minus 1 is 13. 1 times negative 13 is negative 13. And then 61 minus 13, have your calculator handy, is 48. And 1 negative 1 times 48 is not going to give me 0. So that doesn't work either. Keep going. Do it all over again until we find one, okay? So now I'm going to go to positive 2. So 2 times 1 is 2. 14 plus 2 is 16. 2 times 16 is 32. 61 plus 32, that's going to be 93. And I know that's not going to work. 2 times 93 is going to be way more than that. So again, that one didn't work. So I keep going. So negative 2 until we find one that has 0, okay? So we bring down the 1. So that's going to be negative 2. Let's see, 14 minus 2 is going to be 12. 2 times, negative 2 times 12 is negative 24. And then here we have 61 minus 24. 61 minus 24 is 37. And 2 times 37, let's try that. 2 times 37, 74. Nope, that's not going to work. Wow. Okay, keep going. I'm running out of space here. And so now I'm going to move on to 3, and then I'll do negative 3. So this will be 3 right here. So 1, 14, 61, 84. Okay, bring down the 1. So that's 3. 14 plus 3 is 17. 17 times 3. 17 times 3 is 51. 51 plus 61, that's going to be 112, right? 61. That's 112. Nope, that's not going to work either. So we just keep going. I'm now on my 6th try. So 1, 14, 61, 84 until we hit 1. Okay, negative 3. So 14 minus 3 is going to be 11. 11 times negative 3 is negative 33. This may be it, guys. I don't know. 61 minus 33. 61 minus 33 is going to be 28. And what's negative 3 times 28? Let's do that. Let's just do 28 times 3. Ah, we hit it. 84, but in this case, negative 84. You see that? So we finally found one, which gives us a remainder of 0. So I tried all these, and then finally, a negative 3 worked. Okay? So I'll go ahead and write this as a polynomial. So it'll be x squared plus 11x plus 28. Okay, and then we factor this. All the ones that I give you will be factorable. Okay, so this will be x times x, and then we need 28 when we multiply and 11 when we add. So notice here 28, that'll be 7 times 4. 7 plus 4 is 11, 7 times 4 is 28. So that'll be x plus 7 and x plus 4. So these are two factors. Where's my other factor? Well, it comes from the minus 3, right? And so what's the other one? Oh, and I ran out of space here, but it'll be x plus 3. Remember, the roots are going to be negative 4, negative 7, and negative 3. So I need to have the factor of x plus 3. So notice these are my 3 factors and my 3 roots. They're opposites. You see that? X plus 3. In other words, why is it opposite? Well, because remember, if this is going to give me a 0, that means that these numbers here should add with this number inside the parentheses to give me 0. So negative 3 plus 3 is 0. Negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. Okay? So again, those are my factors, the three of them. Last one, you hopefully are getting the hang of this. 14 here, it's going to be 1 times 14, 2 times 7, and that's it. Much better list than the one before, right? So let's go ahead and write this out. So this will be x to the third, x to the second, x to the first, x to the 0. Okay? And so we're going to be writing 1, 6, negative 9, and negative 14. And then, remember, let's start with a positive 1. So 1, bring it down. 1 times 1 is 1. 6 plus 1 is 7. Then we get 7 here. Negative 9 and 7 makes negative 2. That's not going to give me a 0. So try negative 1. Bring down the same numbers. So bring down the 1 here. And so negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. That's going to give me a 5. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. Negative 9 and negative 5 makes negative 14. And then multiply, you get positive 14. We got it. Okay? So once we get a 0, we can stop. And so now we're going to factor this. Oops, I'm supposed to write this first as a x squared plus 5x minus 14. Okay? And now we factor this. And so we're going to use the negative 14, or the 14 in this case. We need a negative, right? And so we have to multiply two numbers. So that'll be 7 times 2, but we need a 5, a positive 5. So let's make the 2 negative. So that'll be x plus 7 and x minus 2. There you go, 2 factors. What's my other factor? Well, it comes from this number here, right? And so we work our way backwards. Which factor would give us a negative 1 as our root? Well, x plus 1. Again, what would the 3 roots be? It would be negative 1, negative 7, and positive 2, but the factors are what they're asking for. So these are the factors. And that's it.